are you? I am Cerise Fairfax, and this is my channel. I welcome you. This is going to be a little bit of a different topic today. Just want to let you know that right off the hop. I don't usually talk about these topics, but these topics do come up all around the world. And it is about the word N word. But we're going to talk about a lot of other things as well. First, I just want to shout out where I am right now. I am at where Brooklyn at. Gracias, amor. This is wonderful. Hold on one second. Okay, just got to turn off this notification. There we go. There we go, guys. Welcome. So, yeah, today's a little bit of a different topic. And you guys know I usually make videos based upon what I'm going through here in the Dominican Republic. For those of you who are joining me for the first time, I live in the Dominican Republic. I help people to relocate here, and I help them to get apartments if they're coming short term, long term. And I also offer tours. I just do a whole gamut of things here. And so I also work with a lot of people in real estate as well. And this is something that was brought to my attention, and I just kind of wanted to share it because it affected me. And that's how I live my life when it comes to these videos. When something bothers me or when something is a great opportunity for you guys, I share. This is my outlet to share. But yes, right now, by the way, I'm at Brooklyn Bridge. I just want to show you guys where I'm at. I mean, not Brooklyn Bridge. I apologize. Where Brooklyn at? So this is a great restaurant. It is awesome. And they have music on Friday nights. They have a wonderful, wonderful menu. And they have a wonderful owner by the name of Lee. Lee also has his own YouTube channel. It's called at WBA Sosua, which stands for Where Brooklyn At. And this is a great spot right now. I'm just having a little bit of beer. Presidente beer, one of the beers here in the Dominican Republic, and I'm having it with some ice and lemon and straw. All right, I'm going to get into the topic because this topic today is kind of burning me. And again, I just want to share with you guys. I'm going to check the messages afterwards, but right now we have Geechee Dan. Okay, I got to hear this. Oh, well. All right. I'm just going to preface it by saying that, I am a fair-skinned black woman. And I consider myself, before any race, black. I am aware that I look very fair. Some people would even say pale. Some people would even say, what's that word? Albino. But I'm not albino. I don't have white hair and I don't have red eyes. I'm just very fair. And I come from a mixed race family. So I was raised in what we would call a black home. I don't call myself Afro-Canadian, even though I can trace my roots back to Africa, Sierra Leone, Africa. I'm going to get into all that history of myself in a minute because I think it's important to explain the reason why I'm a little bit heated right now. So let me just first talk about the situation. There is a couple here, and I did business with them, tried to do business with them last year when it comes to real estate. And I took a client to them last year. Okay, and the husband showed up, not the wife. I thought the wife was going to show up, but she didn't. And when the husband showed up, I must say I was a little shocked because, he showed up with no shirt on. But he's the owner, so he can show up how he wants to show up. It's the Dominican Republic. But he was a little stinky and very sweaty. And I just felt like if you are going to sell something to my client, it would have been nice for you to show up a little bit more professional. But that was just me being a stickler for professionalism. And I'm not always professional myself either. I love to chill and have a really good time and chat and take that professional hat off at times, as most of us should. But this was a little bit like, ooh, first impressions were just not that impressive. So then I said, okay, this is my client. We want to see the condo that you have for sale. And he's like, all right. And then he starts talking down to my client. My client was black. And he starts talking down to my client like my client is a boy. You get what I mean when I say boy with that expression? You know what I mean. And so I felt a little uncomfortable and a little taken back, but I thought at the same time too, I was just being a little sensitive and I wanted to have a certain professional persona. And so I let my client pretty much take care of himself, which he did. Then this owner said, Cerise, you stay here. I'm going to show the client the condo. And I said, okay, no problem, just as long as the client got to see the condo. Well, the client went and saw the condo, and then this guy just wasn't that professional. The reason why I'm giving you the backdrop, because this is not even the reason why I'm upset. The reason why I'm giving you the backdrop is just to give you the type of ignorance of personality. So I don't know if the guy's racist, prejudice, or just ignorant in general. So now what happened was after my client saw it, my client came out and he looked at me and he's like, hey, okay, so let's go look at the other apartment because we were looking at another condo in that building. And I was like, all right, let's go. And then I said, how did you like the condo? And he's like, you know what? The condo's all right, but the owner sucks. I don't want to deal with a man like that. And I would never, ever buy property from anyone like that. The guy seems like a bigot, you know? And I was like, ooh, yeah, okay. I kind of felt that too. And then when I got home that day, I contacted the wife who I was originally in contact with. And I said, hey, listen, the client doesn't want the place. And, you know, your husband really wasn't all that professional. Like I told her straight, listen, I'm a very kind person, but I'm also a very serious person. And when I get serious, you can either say that it's because I'm a strong woman, or you can say I come from a strong family, or you can say because I'm, you know, got black in me and I got those roots where I'm very serious, or you can say I'm a hood. I don't care what you call it, but I will admit that I can be very forward when something comes too close to me that stinks a little too bad. And I do know how, well, with her, I was quite diplomatic. And I said to her on the phone, I said, hey, listen, on a voice note on WhatsApp, you know, the guy doesn't want it. And just another thing, your husband wasn't that professional dealing with the client. Like he did this, he did that. I told on him. She came back at me, and instead of saying thank you, Cerise, for that information, you know, in the future when we deal with each other, we'll make sure that I show up to sell the place, right? But she didn't. She came back at me stank, and she's like, well, my husband is a real estate agent and very professional in Canada. That's what she wrote back to me, and I said, well, he wasn't today here in the Dominican Republic at all. That was it. A little while later, I just said to her, next time, you know, I deal with you, I would like to deal with you and not your husband. If you can show up, please, for the client. I was straight. A little while after that, short while after that, I had someone that was interested in the place. So I contacted her and I said, hey, do you still have that place? She said, it's sold. It's sold. In my gut, my intuition, I knew she was lying, but I thought to myself, what grown woman would lie about their place being sold? But then I found out indirectly that they actually didn't own it yet, and they were selling it without owning it yet. So in other words, they were going to put a little bit of price up on it and flip it, which is totally normal. There's nothing wrong with that at all. You don't need to sell a home right out to sell it. So, I mean, own a home right out to sell it. All right, so now that was that. My first impression of dealing with that couple. The wife, I say hi to her every now and again. I don't have a problem with her. Him, it was the only first time I've seen him, and I never saw him again. And I didn't focus on him enough to be able to recognize him from any other white man on the street, to be honest with you. You know how some white people look at black people and say, oh, all black people look the same, or they'll say all Chinese people look the same, or whatever. It's kind of like me when it comes to a certain white man look, right? And I'm just talking right now. I'm sorry if you're white and you're taking this personally. I love every race and I love every color. But I don't focus on people's faces enough that I'm not dealing with. You know, I'm not a person that's very good with faces or names. I meet a lot of people here every single day, even if someone is black or white or Chinese or whatever, and I met them. Most times people will say to me, I met you before. You don't remember? So it's very often that that will happen. But in any case, I do see his wife with him all the time. I see her all the time. But again, I'm not focusing on someone else's husband. So anyway, that was it. Two twos. Let's fast forward now to 2 days ago, 3 days ago, Tuesday. I was online, and there was a woman I was talking to, and she said she had a condominium in this same place that I saw this other couple in almost a year ago. And she said she had a place for 60,000. And I was like, 60,000 for a condominium, one bedroom in a complex with a pool, a restaurant, a concierge at the front, and a bar? I said, I got to video this. So I said, is it okay if I come and video? She said, absolutely. And I said, okay, I have some clients that may buy it. She's 100% on point with me. That's it. I get to the place to meet the owners, and who is it? Him. Now, I didn't recognize him. Again, I didn't know. I'm looking for this person that will most likely recognize me. I look with him and I lock eyes, this white man, and I looked and I was like, hola. And I turned my head because he didn't say to me, oh, hey, Cerise. When we locked eyes, he didn't say anything. He just looked at me like that. And so I just said hi, even though I caught a bad vibe from him. Just not a bad vibe, but just, vibe. I'm going to get more into that. So then that was it. And then I was talking to my motor concho, and then he comes over to me and he's like, Cerise, let's go look at the apartment. The same guy that I just said hi to. He comes like over a minute later and he's like, hey, Cerise, let's go look at the apartment. And I'm like, oh, okay. Are you so-and-so? And he's like, yeah, you met me before. Now he looks completely different. He must have shaved his hair off, looks a little bit different, just I can't explain it and I don't want to be rude. So then I was like, okay, I met you before. I'm sorry, I don't remember. I meet so many people. And he's like, yeah. So we kept walking, and then I looked at the wife. The wife pops out from somewhere, and she's like, oh, hi, Cerise. And I'm like, oh, hi. I said, is this your husband? And she's like, yeah. And he's like, you met me before, and you saw this apartment before. And I said, oh, and everything just clicked in. And then I was like, no, I didn't see the apartment before. But yes, I remember meeting you. And he's like, yes, you did see this apartment. Trying to talk down to me, right? And I'm like, no, I didn't. Remember, you took my client in without me. You told me stay outside. And he's like, oh, okay, well, let's go in. And I was like, all right. So we went in. And his wife gives that little nervous laugh, like she knows that her husband is a little cray-cray. And then he turned around and he slammed the door. Pretty much didn't slam it, but I'm being exaggerating here. But she was on her way in, and he closed the door and told her stay outside while he's showing me the apartment. And she just went, oh, that's her husband. But who am I to say what people go through in relationships? I mean, she respects her husband and she's listening to him. Totally fine, right? And so I was like, whoa, I didn't know what to say. So I get my camera ready. We go into the bedroom. He's just like talking, telling me about stuff. He wasn't unpleasant, but he was just like talking about unnecessary things about office furniture and how that was his office for a while and all this. And I said, okay, well, does it come furnished? Because it was not furnished. And then he's like, yeah. And I said, okay, because I'm pretty sure my client would like to know. So I go to video and he's like, oh, wait a minute, you're not the client? And I'm like, no, I didn't say this, but dude should know what I do, right? I do real estate here. I'm a broker. I help people find really good apartments at great prices and everything like that. Apartments, condos, houses, and I video and put them on my YouTube channel. So he says to me, well, I don't want anyone to help me sell this. And I was like, oh, okay. I guess he remembered from last time when I told on him with his wife, or maybe he just didn't want to sell it through a third party. And I said, oh, okay, no problem. And I put my camera away and I started to walk through to the door, and the wife, she comes in the door and she's like, oh, yeah. I told him that you weren't here to buy it. I told him that you were probably here to video it for a client. And I said, yeah. And then he's like, yeah, well, we are not interested in giving any commission. Right. And I said, okay, all right. No, that's cool. And then I left politely, quietly, bam. After I left, I thought to myself, they lied to me. They said they sold it. And all because I spoke up to that woman about her husband before and how unprofessional he was. But that's okay. I just dealt with it and I sucked it up. because business is business, and I don't make it personal until this happened. I'm going to get to it. So now here I am, and I'm sitting at a restaurant, and I'm talking to a client on the phone, and then I did a consultation with three black men. Okay. Um, Three black guys, 40 years old, 42 years old, and 44 years old, professionals working the same job for 13, 14 years in a hospital in Boston. So they come and they sit down, all three men, and it was for a relocation consultation where we're going to talk about everything under the sun that you need to know when you come here. So we got onto the real estate topic and how they can get a mortgage and what's available. And I said to them, you know what? There is a place that's for 60,000 because the three of them are going in on this, and they want to rent it out as a passive income while they're in America. They want to rent it out here on Airbnb. And I was telling them that they can get self check-in and they don't even need to be here. They love the idea. And I looked across the street. Now you can't make this stuff up, but Sosua, where I'm at right now, has one strip named Pedro Closante, and on Pedro Closante, a lot of the expats, if you don't know what that word is, it just means expatriate, just means foreigners that live here, all kind of congregate together on one street called Pedro Closante. So I was sitting at one restaurant, and across the street was that couple at another restaurant. They're at that other restaurant right now. I just passed them. So anyway, I said to these guys straight up, this is a deal. I'm not going to be involved in it. I'm not going to be a third party person, but this is still a $60,000, and I can vouch for the apartment because I was in it. I saw it that same day, and I said I can vouch for the apartment. I don't know if it's going to come with furniture, but it's a very good location for Airbnb. And I told them all about the building, and I said, if you don't mind, I'll go across the street and I'll ask the couple if they're still willing to sell it with my referral, but I'm not going to, dip into their commission. So I went across the street and I told them, and they're both sitting there and they're like, really? Right? And I said, yeah, it's okay. And they're like, but you're not going to get commission on it. And I said, I know that. That's okay. I have no problem with that. I just want a win-win situation for my clients. And hey, if I can help you guys sell something in the meantime, then all right. And then they're like, really? Of course, after they were rude to me, like I'm not going to allow that to get in the way of business. And I said, yeah. And they're like, you didn't put the price up a little bit to get commission on it? And I said, no, I told them it's 60,000. And I said, it's okay. Just come across the street and meet them so they can see the place. So the guy comes across the street and, he talks to them, but he has this bigot stance about him where he just kind of looks like he thinks he must have been cool when he was younger. He's like in his 60s, I think. He must have been very cool when he was younger, or maybe made some type of money in his life at some point. Not a lot. I'm not talking about millions, right? But probably was able to retire early, and it just has this real air of arrogance, right? But humble people don't watch that stuff, So these guys were humble, and these guys were like, hey dude, like, okay, yeah, let's go look at the place. Now I couldn't go look at the place with them because I still had to stay at that restaurant and conduct business on the phone, doing a phone consultation now at this point. So I bid the guys farewell. That was it. Didn't hear anything back from them until the next day because I have a television show here, and those guys were going to be quick minute guests on my television show. So they contacted me and they came to my television show the next day. We were all chilling. We were vibing. They love the vibe on my television show. You guys can catch it on www.facebook.com/Costa Norte. I'll put the link down below when I get home. Just so you guys can click on it. It's my television show. It goes live to air on Facebook as well as TV here. And those guys are the three at the very end. Just really cool vibing guys. If you guys watch it, you'll see these guys are cool. So anyway, we're leaving the TV studio, television station, and the guys pull me over, and they're like, Cerise, come here. And I'm like, what? And they're like, we have to tell you something. And they're all serious. And we're like laughing the whole time and everything, like a real light vibe. And they just brought all this seriousness out. And I'm like, is everything okay? And they're like, that guy that you introduced us to for the apartment? And I said, yes. And they're like, well, as he was showing us the apartment, he asked us if he could say the N-word to us. And I was like, that doesn't make sense. Now I know, like I said, the guy looks a little cray cray. There's something different about him. But everyone has their own little cray cray way anyway, right? We don't judge that stuff, right? I don't know. Maybe the guy's a little bipolar. We don't know. So, and if you are, don't think that this is a hit at you. Many people have certain mental things that are going on in their life due to their environmental upbringing, their environmental circumstances, all kinds of things. The brain is very sensitive. But in any case, I looked at them and I'm like, are you sure he said that? And they're like, yeah, he said it right out. Can I say Nigger? And I was like, okay, I'm going to sit on that. And my friend Ken was with me. And then, I ended up talking to Ken about it. And Ken's like, Cerise, don't let it get to you. And I said, do you think I should tell the wife? Because the last time I told the wife, she couldn't care less what her husband did. Show up with no top on, all sweaty and stinky, and was just kind of rude and dismissive to me. And, she didn't care. But this is important because this is a black man's paradise right here. This is a Caribbean island right here. And I think that man forgot that most people that are going to buy off him is probably going to be a foreigner. And chances are, guy's going to be black or woman. So Ken's like, sleep on it. Because I wanted to grab my phone at that moment and just tell her right away, like, seriously, you can't control your husband, but I didn't. I'm not a married woman. I'm a single woman. I never had a long-term relationship. So my mom and dad, my mom would listen to my dad back in the day. So I have to respect those dynamics. And then we all came here to where Brooklyn at. Sat down. We got some good video footage, had some fun. The guys were leaving the next day. So that was it. Bid them farewell. Great guys. The next morning I woke up and the wife messaged me and she's like, hey, so those guys got back to us and they said that they have our information and if they're interested, they'll be in touch. Then she put ... So they're just tire kickers. They're not serious buyers. Now I tossed and turned all morning thinking, should I, like when I was waking up early in the morning, before I even saw her message, I was thinking, praying on it. And I'm like, God, do I say something to this woman? Or like, maybe she just doesn't even care. Maybe she's just a racist and undercover racist and I just don't know, right? Never sensed that from her. So then fast forward, when I read that message, I'm like, no, they're not tire kickers. Actually, they're not. And you don't need to put them down just because they don't want your place. There is an underlying reason. They are serious buyers and they sat down and they paid me for my consultation. They're serious men, And so I did. I stuck up for them and I contacted her and I said, hey, listen, no, they're not serious. No, they're not tire kickers. I said, this is what really happened. And I told her the story. She didn't get back to me and I told her I'm going to make a video about it and I'm also going to make a Facebook post about it because I also have other things I want to talk about as well. It just seems like white men can't keep that word out their mouth. Some of them, they feel like they can say it, and some black men that are friends with white men give them permission to say it. Meanwhile, brothers shouldn't even be saying it. Some brothers will be like, oh, you're a cool white guy, you can say the N-word. No, they can't. And any white man that would want to say it thinking that he's cool with the brothers and down like that is a fool, because that word is not positive in any sense of the meaning, context, or whatever. That word has a lot of meaning, not necessarily true meaning, but a lot of history to it. And we should never stir up strife like that. But anyway, the wife got back to me finally. She read the message and didn't get back to me right away. She waited for a few hours. I guess she didn't know how to respond. Maybe she was waiting. She didn't know. I guess she read the Facebook post and she saw all of the people responding to the Facebook post. And then she came back to me. She's like, we're not prejudiced. Now, listen to this message. She said, we're not prejudiced. We have colored cousins. You have colored cousins? That word colored was out back in the 60s. Like that word colored is not even used any longer, woman. And then she's like, and my husband, he's mixed with Indian. Not East Indian. I'm not talking about East Indian. I'm talking about Native. Okay. This was a response from somebody who is not very multicultural. So I couldn't blame her. But when you get back at someone and you're like, we have colored cousins, It's like kind of like saying I have a black friend type of thing. And I just got back at her and I laughed. I was like, you know what? This is like the this is like I forget what I said to her, but this is like the most perfect racist person response. This is like you can't make this stuff up. And I'm like, first of all, it's black. And I know a lot of people listening to may be like, no, it's not black these days. It's changed to Afro American. No, for me, I say black American or black Canadian, okay? Because a lot of people, they are losing the real touch that America was built on the backs of blacks. If it wasn't for black people living in America, America wouldn't be what it is right now. It was built on the backs. Now, my family, my black side family, and how I ended up having white in me and everything, my black side were slaves as well in America. I'm Canadian, but they were slaves in America. And what happened was they fought the American slave owners with the British because the British went in to fight America to try to take ownership of America. And they asked some of the slaves, do you want to fight with us? And those slaves became something called the Black Battalions, the British Black Battalions. And they said to the black slaves, if they lose, if Britain loses, then that means they will give them land in Canada. If they win, they'll give them land in America. And the British, they stuck to it. They went and they carried them all right to Nova Scotia. And that is why my ancestors, my settlers, my forefathers are Nova Scotian from Canada, because they were the slaves that fought against the slavery in America, and Britain kept to their word. Okay, so I am a product of unity of white and black. So I'm not putting down any white people. I'm not putting down any black people. I'm just saying that word, no man should say it. Oh, and this is exactly what she said as well. She said, well, Cerise, the guys called it to each other first, right? So he said, can I say it too? And I got back to her and I'm like, if there's a bunch of white people hanging around, they're all calling each other hunky. You think I'm going to say, can I say hunky too? As a full grown woman, this is a full grown man. Why does he even want to say that word? Doesn't he understand the history behind that word? Doesn't he understand what impact that word has? Doesn't he understand that there's a business transaction going on, a real estate business transaction going on? If he's so professional and if he understands the real estate industry from Canada back in the day and everything like that, why in the world is he not using that professionalism right now? Right now. Use it, And so I couldn't understand it, and it made me feel very uncomfortable, to the point where I was like, I can't deal with that type of person. And first of all, they're liars because they didn't sell their place. And second of all, her husband's a bigot. They can't tell me that he doesn't have prejudice. But at the same time, if you don't know the history, if you haven't sat down and watched any type of Roots or any type of movies, the pain that word has created in history, then why are you wanting to say it? If you don't even know that colored is not the word that you're using any longer, you need to learn the word that's used these days. Right? Black, Afro-American, Afro-Canadian, not colored. You don't go from colored to the N-word. What's all that about? And so I also told her, told her as well, these days we call Indians natives or Aboriginal First Nations, not Indians. I told her Indians are from East India. So I realized through that many things. That's just an ignorant couple. Maybe they're just an ignorant couple, not much education. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe they just kind of made their money through sales, which is okay because I do sales too. And it's totally fine. I'm not putting them down. And I know that I can feel myself still being heated about it, even just thinking about the husband and how he speaks to people. It is an ignorance about his personality. It's his character, right? But I just want to say, if you are white and you're using this word because you think you're cool enough to do it, because maybe you like to be around a lot of the brothers. Maybe you feel like you have a lot of history with the brothers. Maybe you were raised in the hood around the brothers and you're the only token white boy that is around them, or white girl that is around them. Stop using that word. Empower your black friends, and do not allow that word, that negative piece of history, to perpetuate itself. Don't think it's cool to use that word. And never say to a black person, is it okay if I say the word? You're my nig, stuff like that. No, never. You're not cool when you do that. And if you guys are young, or even like I know a couple of guys here that use it in the street, you know, and I just think to myself, they haven't read enough history about Haiti and what Haiti has done to, help with freedom of slavery, abolishing it. They haven't read enough literature. And even when the brothers say it to each other, it bothers me. When I hear it, I'm like, but then I chalk it up to make myself feel better. They're just taking the word back. They are not allowing it to affect them. They're moving forward with it. I had a couple of people, brothers, contact me and they're like, wow, Cerise, that's really horrible. I was talking to one brother today and he said, you know what? I don't allow it to bother me any longer. When they call me the N-word, I call them cracker. That doesn't make it better. That doesn't make it better. Two wrongs don't make a right. You don't call someone anything against their color. Even fat, I'm overweight, right? I have to lose some weight. But I can lose it. I can change that about myself. We can change certain things about our character. But when things are certain things that you cannot change, you got white people tanning and putting perms in their hair. Those perms are not permanent, and the tan skin does not last. You have black people bleaching their skin and perming their hair to go straight. That doesn't last either. That is not permanent. That is all temporary. I don't go tanning. I'm very fair skinned. I'm very pale. I don't straighten my hair. This is my natural curls. I don't do anything to my hair. I don't care that I'm a fair skinned black woman. I don't care. It's what's inside. It's my DNA. It's my character. Like I said, I'm a very kind person. I'm a very generous person. I'm a very nice person, but I'm very serious. And when someone does something in business that I don't like, I speak up. And sometimes my tongue is like a sword. Sometimes I will slice with my tongue because my mind works a mile a minute and I'm just like, and I'll go right in. Not everyone is all the time nice all the time. You know what I mean? So there have been some people that's watching this video that probably experienced me going in on them. Right? And that's just normal. That's just what I do. Right? But I will never, ever call someone an N-word or, cracker. You Americans say cracker, and in Canada we say honky. I just wouldn't. I feel uncomfortable with that because I don't look at race. I've dated almost every single race out there. And I just don't find that talking about race is an important thing. But when you have some people calling the word N-word and they are white and they think that they are privileged to say it because they're hanging around brothers and sisters, that's not cool. Stop that today. Empower the brothers and sisters that you hang around, and don't perpetuate what the slave, I don't even like to call them masters or owners, because they weren't masters and they weren't owners. They were just people that were ignorant. Don't perpetuate that ignorance. And white men have the tendency, the desire, just to use it. They want to use it, and they often ask it. Can I say it? Can I say it? No, you effing can't say it. Shut your mouth, sit back, and sit down. Don't even get up for a minute. Think before you talk. Open up a book, read a little bit of history, and then shut up a little bit more. That's it. Shut up. That's how I feel. And that's, you guys know, I get so serious. Sometimes I get heated about certain topics, but this one, I am so heated. Even if you guys can hear the thunder and the lightning happening, all the cracking up there. And, I couldn't believe it when I heard it. And she's like, well, they said it first, and he just asked if he could say it. You can't write this stuff. You can't make this stuff up. And we have colored cousins, and he's mixed with Indian. So much in that one message blew my mind. I was like, is this woman okay? Is she okay? Like, and then I was just like, yo, I can't deal. I don't even get it. I don't even understand it. They are forgetting where they live. They live in a Caribbean island. They live amongst black people that originated here, black people that are coming here from America, coming here from all over the world to buy property. And this is what they're saying. This is a certain ignorance that we need to get rid of. And then another thing, during, I don't want to say the C word, but during that time, right? Because YouTube just doesn't like that word. They think that we're trying to be propaganda type, speak about propaganda. But what happened was you had Black Lives Matter. And then Canada had this trucker thing. And when they did the trucker thing, the Prime Minister of Canada went in, and you know what they did? Chop people's bank accounts. They said, oh yeah, if you are doing any of this rally, you're going to get your bank account closed. You're just going to get in big trouble, so you better go back home. Now, I agreed with the trucker thing. I really did. But then what shocked me was when I saw some news stations where there were some white people, truckers, saying, oh yeah, what about Black Lives Matter? When Black Lives Matter was having their march, no one had their bank accounts seized. No one was getting in trouble for that. Black Lives Matter. Are you serious? I couldn't even watch it any longer, or even support it any longer. I couldn't even think about the truckers any longer. I was like, yo, I can't deal with this. I can't. You're going to compare Black Lives Matter, children in America getting shot in the streets because they don't know the protocol of not reaching into their knapsack to take out their identification, or not running because they are so terrified that they know they're about to get shot. Come on now. And then you had some of the people saying, all lives matter. Yes, all lives do matter, mother effer. Yes, they do all matter. But guess what? You were never a slave. Your forefathers were never slaves, and neither were your ancestors slaves at all. Okay? So we know that you think your life matters. Your life has been mattering in all of the politics and everything. Look at Parliament. It reflects white lives mattering. I don't even know if that's a word. But when it comes to Black Lives Matter, it is something that needs to be spoken about. A rally, And I'm surprised that it didn't happen sooner. I'm so shocked that this Black Lives Matter movement didn't happen sooner. And then look at Antifa, tried to ruin it and everything. Who was Antifa? No, listen, there's a corrupt society going on, and we need to come together as a people, black and white, and stop using this word. There's two words that shock the whole entire world, that's English speaking world. Okay? C-U-N-T and the N-word. When people are in a crowd and they hear that N-word, everyone goes, ooh, whoa, because everyone understands the serious implications that word has. Okay? Especially when a white person says it. A white person should never feel like it's cool to say it. I just want to reiterate that. The other word, C-U-N-T. You could be sitting somewhere, and if someone comes right out and says, oh, you C-U-N-T, even if they're joking, people will go, oh, that was a little harsh. Those two words right there, in my opinion, are some of the worst words ever. And I think in this day and age, we really need to come together and help each other grow, help each other rise up. That white man that was showing the place, and I'm not saying his name or his wife's name. I told her in the message that I left her that I'm going to do a video and I'm going to do a Facebook post, but I won't say her name because it's not like I want any flack to come back on them. Hopefully they'll watch this video and they'll see how passionate I am about it, and they'll see what my whole thoughts are behind it, right? So that white man had an opportunity to stand up for brothers and say to those brothers, even if they were the first ones saying it to each other, say, hey guys, please don't use that word around me. If you're white and you hear brothers using that word, say to them, please don't use that word around me. I don't like it. You will shock people. You don't say, oh, can I use it too? Fool. What are you going to ask to use that word for? And you don't even understand how that word has history and how words have weight. Even every little vowel in a word has weight. How are you going to want to use that word at all? And again, black, white, Chinese, it doesn't matter who you are. It's not cool. Learn your history, read your history, speak to a lot of people from back in the day. They're dying these days, but watch some videos on the civil rights movement. Watch the videos on the very intellectual black people from back in the day. People that actually were standing up for rights because they were being pushed down for nothing. Colored? Colored? What white person says colored these days? And this woman is like probably maybe, I don't know, 60, maybe 55. She doesn't look old at all. She's vibrant, the wife I'm talking about. She's vibrant. She talks a lot. She's friendly. They're from Canada. And she's friendly and, never had a problem with her. But when she lied about the condo, I knew she was lying. But God works in mysterious ways, because God showed me that they're liars and then showed me that they're bigots and showed me stay away from people like that. So you are going to find people like that all around the world, but you can smell it on them and you can see it in them and you can feel it as well when you use your discernment. That is a blessing that you get when you have intuition, and you can just sense it around people. And you'll feel weird. You'll feel funny. Your skin will crawl. And you'll just be like, When I'm around too many of them, I have to skedaddle. And I have to go to my people. And I know that sounds horrible if you're white and you're listening to it. But if you're white and you're listening to it and you love black people, then you know exactly what I mean. Because when white people get together and they start doing their white thing and, there's this one guy here. He seems pretty okay. But when I was sitting with him at a restaurant one day, he's like, oh, look at those Americans over there. He's Canadian, white. And he's like, look at those Americans across the street with their New York tuxedo on. I was like, what? I was like, New York tuxedo, right? It didn't sound really racist at the time or like prejudice at the time. And I'm like, what's a New York tuxedo? He's like, the tops with the pants and the shoes with socks, wearing those long socks with the sandals. And I was like, American style? That's not American style. That's not New York tuxedo. My son dresses like that in the summertime. I know white men that dress like that in the summertime. I mean white men that really know how to dress and have style, And this guy, he walks around with like your old plaid t-shirts from back in the day and running shoes. And he looks like a grandfather, and he's not. I'm sorry if you're listening to this, because I know you do watch my videos, and I don't mean to give you the shock treatment right now. But we have to admit that is, as this guy's probably watching this video, it is kind of like a racist comment. And I didn't realize it until after I contemplated it a long time. Afterwards, it took me about 3 weeks for it to sink in. And then he also said something else. I forget now because I just didn't allow it to affect me that much. I still say hi to him and I keep it moving. But wow, it is getting out of hand now. When people come here from another country, especially Canada, and they are white and they forget that this land belongs to black people, they're forgetting because they have this thing called colonizing, and they do it everywhere they go, and they refuse to take on the culture. They put themselves in someone's place and they try to make it America or Canada, and that's not cool. Where I live in Los Charamicos, it is natives, and I rarely see any of those guys, rarely. But that one wife, I did see her in Los Charamicos before, and that's what made me like her. The wife I saw her in Los Charamicos and I even stopped and looked at her. You know how sometimes white people will look at a black man that has money and say, "Oh, how did you get that money?" Right? Like those types of questions. That's what I asked this woman in Los Charamicos. I was like, "What are you doing here?" Reverse. It was reverse. I know. But this white woman walking through Los Charamicos, I thought she's mad cool. She's mad cool. I thought to myself, wow, I like her. And her husband wasn't in town at this time. But when I met him, I couldn't put the two together. I couldn't. And then now that she's sticking up for him 2 times, I don't. There's not going to be a third, because you know why? First time, shame on you. Second time, shame on me. And now it is shame on me, because I'm like, yo, the first time he was an animal, but I didn't know. I didn't know I was going to the same place. I really didn't. If I had have known, I don't think I would have even wanted to deal with him, because I already told her before I didn't want to deal with him. Right. And so anyway, that's pretty much it. But I do want to say, there's a guy on Facebook, and he wrote on the comments on Facebook on the post that I made, and he's like, he owns a boat, like a house by the river, like a river house type of place, and it's really beautiful, and he bought it. And he said the white people in his community constantly ask him, so what do you do for a living? How did you get that? Automatically, you know what? They think he has to be a drug dealer. That is the stigma. This man works for his money the same way as anyone else, and he makes good money and probably better. And I have a friend that also commented on it. And I know her from Toronto, and she has black children, but her new children from different family, like different man, are white. So she still lives in a black community. This white child that she has now goes to school with 90% black children, right? And he's being raised in a black community. But he even knows not to say the N word. He even knows don't touch it with a 10-foot pole, because it's not a very nice word. Now, I know a lot of people that they like, I say it because I take the power back. I don't let the white man hurt me and stuff like that. It's not a word that's in the dictionary. It's not a word that is in the black vocabulary. The word started as far as I know, Negro. Here we call them negro. Negro and negra as the color black. Negro, negra, feminine and masculine. And I know back in the day, negro was a word that was polite. I don't know about these days. I just know here, because, when I'm speaking Spanish, I'll be like negro. Él es negro, or él es blanco, like he is black or he is white. Like if I'm describing someone, if we have to talk about color. But I usually just use the word black. I don't use African American, because although my ancestors are African, I'm Canadian. And I am a fair-skinned black woman from Canada, born in Canada. And I feel like a lot of people, they want to take on the identity of Africa, because that is where their heart is. That is where they want to go back, where they feel comfortable, where they feel accepted, where they feel loved, where they feel not so judged. And so they've taken on the pronouns African. That's it. But you know what? They are American, because blacks built Africa. Well, they built Africa too, but they built America, and you can't say they didn't. I don't know any white man that picked up and did the cotton picking the same way that the brothers did. Okay, I have heard stories about my forefathers being maimed, being killed, and certain segregating the light skin black people go into the house because they can do the house chores. They're light skin, but the darker skinned ones have to stay out in the field. Do you guys not know this? And if you don't know this, that some were maimed, beaten so bad, and the women were raped by the white men. Some white women loved black men so much, when they got caught making love to them, they said that they were the R word. There's some history, and that word goes right in with all of that negativity. And we have to stop using it. Black and white, purple, yellow, no matter who you are. Okay, we have to stop using that word. Please, brothers, stop using that word amongst each other. Read, get a little angry, get a little heated. Get a little history. Don't take it on. I see some people on WhatsApp using it, but they think they can spell it in a cool way and it's different. They spell it NIGA or whatever. It's still the same. It has the same meaning because it derives from the root word, and that root word represents a lot of negativity. It represents black ignorance. And I don't know any, I know more, gosh, I'm going to sound so bad right here, but I know more white ignorant people than I know black. I know more white trash than I know black trash. Because even the white trash that I know from where I came from, the hood, they don't have a hustle. They'll just sit around and drink beer all day, smoke their cigarettes, and take pills. I know I'm stereotyping. I'm just talking about my environmental upbringing in the hood, Toronto, Regent Park, what I was raised with. I'm not speaking for everyone around the world, and I'm not speaking about white people. I'm talking about where I was raised and where my point of reference is from. And then in the same hood, you see black men. They're not telling, or women too. I couldn't tell my mom, shut up. But my white friend could tell my mom, oh, shut up, mom. Or when the mom calls them, what? I couldn't even say what at all. If I said what, I was getting beat down. Well, not really beat down, but disciplined. My dad would say, what did I just hear you say? You would swear I said the F word. Never say what to your mother. You say, yes, mom. I walk by my parents in the living room. I can't just walk by them and walk in front of them as they're watching TV. I have to say, excuse me, as I'm walking by. Go in the kitchen and then get what I have to get and say, excuse me again, as I'm walking by again. It's not just excuse me one time a day. Anytime I walk by them, excuse me. Yes, mom. Yes, dad. Never what? Never. Like rude. Never. I don't know what would happen to me if I got rude, but I know I would get probably spanked. I was a very, very polite child. But I know my sister, she got spanked. My mom one time went in the car and took the fan belt out of the car and beat her with that piece of rubber. And that's the family. That's what happens. So in the hood, you would have a lot of black children being disciplined, a lot of black children being raised with parents that are working very hard and they want the best for their children. You know, there's all types of things going on. And I'm not saying it's not white people that don't do it, but I'm just saying in the hood, you see a lot more trash with fair skin, like white people. And then you see parents that are trying so hard to keep their kids from getting into gangs, getting into violence, trying so hard to make sure that their children are not getting shot in the street by officers, really trying hard to make sure that their child makes a difference in the world, with the odds placed against them due to government restrictions, due to, just stereotypes, maybe even due to father not being there, because that as well was all made up from the system. And we have to stop this as a people. The reason why I'm saying stop it as a people, because we are all important. We are all important. All lives are important. But when Black Lives Matter marches are going on, we shouldn't have people coming out the woodwork saying, well, all lives are important. We know. Shut up. Sit back. Sit down. Let people stick up for themselves for some time in history, something that we can look back on and say, thank God something is being done. So I do want to say this heated me up a lot, and the problem is not going to stop with the white people. It's going to stop with the brothers stop saying it to each other, either in music, alone in a group, or even around white people. I don't know if my clients said it. I really don't. I would assume, I would hope my client said it, and that's the reason why that white man felt so comfortable saying, can I say it? I would hope. But, and I wouldn't hope that it was said, but I would hope that the white man's not all that crazy, although I do think that there is something up, because the first impression that he made, with shirt off, all sweaty, stinky, showing up to show someone a condo, I had to make common sense of it. And I said, okay, we live in the Dominican Republic. It's his apartment. He's not desperate to sell it. If the person wants it, they want it. But still, he had that air of treating the client who was black, the first one, like a boy, like looking at him like, "Hey, boy," you know that "Hey, boy" type of attitude. That's that man. And it's hurtful for me. It's hurtful for me when I see the brothers saying it to each other, but when white people say it, it's even more hurtful. And women, I'm going to say this to you, white women that have black children. When you guys call your children out of color, you say, "Come here, you little N word." I know a lot of you white women that have black children do that. You know, you angry at the kid because the kid's misbehaving, but you love black men and you love the black culture and you love having a black child and you love being able to be in that community. But that word still flies out of your mouth when you get upset. That you just can't help it. You see? You're like on it. Since when do black people ever, if they have a mixed child, say, "Come here, you little, cracker. Come here, you little honky"? Black people wouldn't say that to their white kid, to their mixed child. It just doesn't even cross our minds, you know? Like, I don't know. And if it does, I've never heard it before. But I've heard some girls, again, from the hood, and they have their black children, and they will say that. And they think they can say it because their hair's braided, and they got a good patois accent going on, and they have only black men that they date, and they think it's okay. No, it's not. So let's put a stop to it. I just want to say that today. This is my passion. This is what I want to say. And that's about it. Hi, Sean and Aramo. Good afternoon. Joe Smalls. Black and you? Who's Joe Smalls? Now you sound just as ignorant as some people. Professional showing up without a shirt on. Right. No way. I would have shown them 3 guys that jerk condo. That's right. Right. That's what I'm saying. Shame on me second time around. Why put money in the fool's pocket? Right. I'm judging that. I'm, ju- I'm judging. Damn that. And then Ether says 100. Troy Parker says totally agree. And then G Chi says colored. That's proof right there. That's proof right there. And I think they are Scotian too, white Scotians. And yep, Nova Scotian. I know all that history of the blacks in Nova Scotia and the racism there in Nova Scotia. Yes, and I think this white couple is from Nova Scotia. I'm pretty sure they're from down east. I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure. The British ruled America before the Americans fought them off. That is so true. Sean, I try not to use it, but I talk Pig Latin. Pig Latin's all right, but still, the word's not cool. Ryan, you're a fair-skinned white person. You're a fair-skinned white person. I'm not going to respond to that. Mike, she was brought up using the word colored and hard for her to change her ways. Exactly, but colored was changed like in the 60s. We stopped using that word, at least in Canada. Has she not been around black people at least long enough to know like what the proper word is to use? Or even Indian? I don't know. Indian I can see because a lot of people still call Indian. I get it. And I do. But colored? I don't know. Just got me. Your curls are always popping. Thank you, SJ. Ether, kidnappers and slavers. Kidnappers, that's what they are. KJ. And then SJ says, thank you, Cerise, for saying what needed to be said. Thank you. I think it's Geechee. George Floyd is not new to Americans. Happens every day. That's right. Marie Keller. Good video, Cerise. Thank you. Ryan, New York tuxedo doesn't sound racist to me. Ryan, after a while, it does. And the person that I was talking to, they were pointing to the brothers across the street and just making in fun of them. There's certain time where you have to know and you feel it. There's that underlying border, So, and it just is. But I'm not going to really respond too much to you here because I kind of got a feeling that you're just on your own roll here. Watch on YouTube the movie The Spook Who Sat by the Door. Great movie back in 1976 or 72. This is how black folks should move. I'm going to watch that tonight. Geechee said, drunk. Shondell Curtis, I freaking love you, Cerise. White people doing their white thing, right? Geechee, I'm so sorry if I'm pronouncing your name wrong. White folks want to know how in the world B folks got money. Right, black folks got money because they know how hard they work to make sure you did not have any money. Very interesting. And you also said took the fan belt. Got damn, yes, goddamn. Yes, I remember having to go switch off the hold on. The switch off the tree. The switch off the tree is also another one that was big. My mom went and got that fan belt. I never got beat with it. I never really got a lot of beatings because I watched from my brother and sister how to act. And my mom always said, Cerise, you were my best behaved child. You learned vicariously. By the time she got to my two younger sisters, she gave up. They're like 6 years and 5 years younger than me. So she just was like, Cerise, you help me. You take the wheel. And I did. But my younger sisters are very awesome. And, I think at the end of the day, we do have to, be cognizant that we are all humans. We really are. I think there is a difference between men and women. I really do. Boy and girl, like vagina, penis. I definitely think there's a difference when it comes to, I think they're two different species. Even when I look at my dog, Noche, she's a girl. I see she acts like a girl compared to boy dogs. Even boy dogs here in Los Charamicos. You'll see the boy dogs will just run all around the street and do their own thing. The girl dogs stay home. When you see a dog outside of a house and rarely leaves the house and she's just there, like it's a girl dog, like 99.999% in Los Charamicos. But when you see a dog roaming the streets all the time, going here, going there, it's usually a boy dog. Right. And it's just so amazing. Same thing with boys and human beings. Boys are usually, for the most part, I don't want to stereotype, but just for the most part, very adventurous, very sporty. Of course, there are girl dogs that leave the house and there are girls that love sports. So I'm not trying to stereotype and say there's no, kind of changes to the rules. Exceptions to the rule, because there always is, but I'm just talking about for the most part. Boys are very adventurous. Boys will go out in the woods hunting by themselves and all that stuff, and then girls will stay at home a lot more, and it's just a natural thing. I do feel that men and women are two different species completely, two different anatomies, two different species in human form. But when it comes to color, that is something that is very different. And, gosh, I'm just going to say it. Most black people that I know, they learn very quickly. Most black people that I know, they learn very quickly. When you're patient and you're kind to people, they'll learn very quickly. Whether it's a sport, they will learn and they will be able to do it very well. Whether it's music, whether it is science, mathematics, whether it is cooking, whether it is caring for someone, anything, they usually do it with a lot of passion, and they can usually go from being the student to the master. That's what I see a lot of, and it's very fascinating to see that. So I don't see a lot of ignorance when it comes to the black race. And when it comes to the white race, I have not really been around a lot of white people in my life. I know I look white, and I know I roll with a lot of white people, like for business and stuff like that. But when I'm in my personal space and I'm doing my personal thing, you will generally see me with the brothers. Like someone even said to me, Cerise, you only hang around black men. And I usually only hang around men in general because it's a whole other thing about women. Sometimes they just, the women species is difficult. But yeah, I do generally hang around black men. It was like that in Canada as well. And it's just something that I feel there's a certain cultural, um, affinity that I have like that. And then, I mean, I just find that it's just, it is what it is. I don't know if it's environmental upbringing or is it really race, like DNA. But yeah, when I walk into a bar and there's all black people, I don't look at the fact that I'm fair skinned. I forget sometimes because it's not brought to my attention, first of all, but I forget a lot of the times. And some of them will look at me and be like, oh, look at this girl rolling up in here, white girl. And then they look a little closer and then they see, oh, okay, she's mixed. They look by my hair, they look at my facial features, and right away they're like, oh, okay, she's a sister. All right, she's just rolling up with her people, right? And that's about it. When I first came here and I was dating a guy who was mixed race, a Dominican, I looked at him and I'm like, oh my gosh, you are the lightest black man I ever dated. I never dated a mulatto before, a biracial person before. I've only dated black men when I dated black. I have dated white men. I have dated, Lebanese men. I've dated men from all around the world. My sister used to call me all nations growing up because I loved dating different cultures. But I never dated what we used to call back in the day a half breed guy back in the day, right? We used to call it that. Now we call it biracial. Here we call it mulatto. So never dated one. And so I said to him, I said, wow, I've met a lot of them. A lot of my family is mixed with, like black and white. A lot of them have that caramel tone. And I said to him, but this is the first time ever that I dated a light-skinned black man. And he looked at me and he's like, black? He's like, what? And I'm like, I'm black. And he's like, no, you're not. You're white. And I said, okay, I don't know if you're joking. Maybe you're joking with me right now. And he's like, no, I'm white. I'm white. Look at me. I'm white. That's what he said about himself. And I'm like, you're not white. Where in the world do you think you're white at? Look at your hair. You have afro hair. Look at your skin. Don't you know what a white person looks like? And he's like, oh, that man, till this day, has taken on a transformation. And I'm not going to take credit for it, but I will say that that transformation has made him get more in tune with his like Caribbean roots. He listens to pure Bob Marley. He listens to pure reggae. It doesn't matter if it's a white person singing reggae or not. He is listening to red wine and everything, as long as it has a nice calypso type of vibe or a reggae vibe, and that's it. So it is something that is ingrained, and a lot of people here are starting to realize that they are mixed. In the 4 years that I lived here, I have seen a lot of Dominicans think that they are white. A lot of them would consider themselves white. And it was something that was quite comical, and it's not spoken about as much these days because the brothers are teaching their girls that, like their Dominican girls, that no, they are mulata. They are mixed, beautiful women. And the women are teaching their men, and it's beautiful to be able to have some type of a mixture. Everyone is mixed anyway. You have a lot of white people that are mixed with different things as well. So it's not necessarily about color anyway. Like I said, it's just about using derogatory words and putting people in a certain, like a certain corner to call them a name. Here it's very segregated. Dominican women hang around Dominican women. You will very rarely see Haitian women hang around Dominican women. Even most bars. If you go to a bar, you may like a lot of the times you will see mostly Haitian workers. Sometimes you may see a couple of Dominican women. Or if you see a lot of Dominican women, then you'll see a little bit of Haitian women like working in a bar. It's very, very segregated in that way, very separated in that way. So it still goes on around the world, but black is beautiful here. And they don't look at someone when they're so dark and be like, oh no. They'll roll with them, you know? So I will say at the end of the day, love yourself, love the skin you're in, and love the skin that other people are in too. When you're at a point of wanting to say the N word just for the fun of it, you are not you are not living your best life, because there's so much more knowledge that you need to learn in order to even understand what life is. When you get to a point of saying, no, I don't want to hear that word, and you are the white person that's around black people that are using it, and you are the person that is the elephant in the room, and you say, hey guys, you know what? I know it's your thing to say it. I know you think it's cool, but for me, it's not. And I don't like to hear it. It makes me feel uncomfortable. Be that person. Be that person to say, you know what? It makes me feel uncomfortable. I don't like it. I'm white and I know what happened. I have a little bit of history. I've watched a few of the movies, and it's a very uncomfortable feeling to see anyone treat it like that. So please don't use that word around me. That would be great. And actually, I would like to see that someday. I never heard it, never ever heard it, but be that person to do it. You know? Now, I just want to get off that topic for a second, guys. I do want to say thank you so much for joining me. It is Friday, and it is a lovely day. I don't see any more messages here. It is a lovely day today. It's raining out a little bit here in the Dominican Republic, but it is what it is. I just want to do my paid promotion thing here, guys. So this right here, neoprene on the outside. On the inside right now, I have orange juice, but if you can see something right there on the bottom, something dark inside there, hold on. Let me drink this down a little bit so I can show you. Hold on. That's a crystal. And that crystal helps mineralize your drink. It is amazing. I love it. I always feel so energized after I drink it too. Great day for a rainstorm, right? Great day for a rainstorm. Reason why is because we are going to wash away all of the negativity of ignorances, wash away all the negativity. I want to be cleansed, and I want what happened to my clients and the situation with that couple to just be woosawed away. And so yeah, guys. Oh yeah, by the way, this here, it has a, you take off the bottom. The bottom is screw off, and you can change the different crystals in it. Go on tomathis.com. Toma this TITHIS TOMATHIS.com, and you can order yours. There we go. Beautiful. I love them. I have 3 of them, and all different quarts, and they are amazing. And plus, they're so pretty to carry around when you're going to the beach, bar, or whatever. And especially those of you who don't like to drink out of plastic, or those of you who don't like to drink out of glasses at a bar, because especially after what the world was going through the last couple of years, I noticed that a lot of people, they carry their own bubbas, they carry their own cups. They don't like to drink out of glasses and stuff like that they know someone else was drinking out of somewhere around the world. So there we go. All right. Now, I do want to say this. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you so much for indulging with me in this conversation. I apologize if I have offended anyone, especially any Caucasian people. I won't say white. How about we say that? Caucasian people. If I have offended you, I'm not trying to make you look bad. I'm not trying to do anything like that. There are some really good Caucasian people out there that are doing it right, and you're doing it good, and you understand the situation of what's going on around the world, and you understand that there's some pain behind that word, and you don't want to say it. You don't even want to hear it. It makes you cringe because you feel for what happened, and you don't even want to be a part of it. I know some people, some white people, Caucasians, that are just like, oh my gosh, like one guy one time before he found out that his dad was a slave owner, and he got a lot of money from an inheritance, just a lot of money. And he also got a plantation home, and he gave that plantation home away, a lot of land too. And he gave it away, and he gave it away to the family that was working on that plantation for many years. It was the same black family. They were working on that plantation, family member after family member, and they would just all work for that same owner, and then the owner's son, and then it went down through generations. And it just happened to be that that same family kept using the same black family, and it came to the point where they started to intertwine together. They started to actually, get married to each other and stuff of that nature. And when he inherited it, he gave it over to the black family that always took care of the place. And he says, this is your plantation, this is your home, this is your land, you take it. And he told me he just couldn't take it because he didn't even feel good selling it. Of course, he took the money that was given to him. He's not crazy. He took the money that was given to him that he inherited, but that money that he inherited was from different businesses that his family made and stuff of that nature. But originally, his forefathers were slave owners, and he can't even fathom, but he's just so happy that the future of that plantation ended up being what it is, and with his kindness and his knowledge, his wisdom. Could you imagine the family? They own a lot of land now, and they are like, wow, this is great. They're the ones that own that land, They died on that land. They born on that land. So it is what it is. Anyway, guys, I have been on the phone for a while. I mean, on this video for a while. I want to say thank you for indulging me. Again, no hard feelings to anybody, even the couple that offended my clients. I don't want any hard feelings with you on the streets or anything. I'm at the point now where I'm just going to not even probably say hello to you because I just can't. But at the same time, I don't want to perpetuate that ignorance. So I'll probably nod, and that's it, and just keep it moving. Um, and that's it. I don't want any apologies once you do see this video and you're like, oh my gosh, she does have a point. I don't want any apologies. I don't even think you would want to apologize because the husband is a bigot. So I doubt he would. He's just a bigot, and he doesn't even realize it. Even the way he treated his own wife was just appalling. But that's okay. The way he slammed the door when we were going in the condo, he literally went like this. Okay, you stay out. And she went, oh. She went outside the door, and I went, oh my gosh. Like, oh. I was like, this guy is an ass. Like a real ass. Like, But we are all asses at some point in life. I'm not making excuses for him either. As even though we have to learn, and we have to grow, and we have to educate ourselves. And we have to be in a point where we are loving, not hating. When we are uplifting people, not bringing them down. All right. So I don't want to make it sound like I brought these two people down. Hopefully they'll learn something from this if they watch the video, because they know that I'm watching it, and they may just listen just to see if I said their names. Hopefully they learn something from this, and hopefully they don't look at it like, well, we have colored cousins, or you're mixed with Indian, or they said it first. Hopefully they look at all that and they're like, yeah, even though they did say it first, we shouldn't have said it. And yeah, that's right. We don't really hear a lot of people use colored these days. And yeah, that's right. Indians are from India and not from Canada. Something that new they'll learn, and maybe we can empower them by encouraging them to learn and watch that movie that was put on here, and also just make an effort to embrace other cultures. I made the effort here, moving here. I didn't just go live in a gated community and just give up on learning the language and also on living in the hood. I live in Charamicos. I live in the hood. My next door neighbors are Haitians on one side, and on the other side, Dominican Haitians. Like everyone knows where I live in my building, and I'm bringing more and more of you guys to Los Charamicos. Everyone knows that I don't live in the gated communities, and even on my television channel, I tell Dominicans if they have any place to rent, it doesn't have to be fancy. Most people coming here, they don't want to stay in a gated community anyway because they look at my videos and they see me living outside the gated community. They don't need a pool. They just want to walk to the beach. They want to be able to come to a bar, sit down, meet people from all around the world. And they want to learn a little bit of Spanish. Maybe not too much, but at least enough to order some food, order a drink, ask where the bathroom is, maybe ask for directions. They do want to learn that. And so I do tell the Dominicans that, don't worry, get in on this growth that is happening here, on this boom that is happening here in real estate. Don't just sit back and let the gringos come in here and the foreigners come in here and buy up everything and rent out everything. And then you sit back and you don't get anything, fix up your a lot of Dominicans can't sell their land because they don't have the deed to it any longer. Their family owned it for so many years. They can't sell anything without a deed, like without a title. But they can still put a little house on that land, fix it up and rent it out and make monthly income, right? And that's what I'm teaching them. That's what I'm telling them. That's where I'm guiding them. And they're like, oh, and a lot of them are already on that ball anyway. A lot of them, they have like a store at the bottom, and then upstairs they have like just a warehouse, like nothing that they were using it for, but it has a bathroom. And so what they're doing now is just fixing it up and making it a one bedroom, and they're getting 400 or 500 bucks a month for it because the rent is a lot more reasonable in with the Dominicans than it is in the tourist area. In the tourist area, the rent will multiply. Like, I mean, especially if you're renting from foreigners, foreigners will make foreigners pay more money because foreigners are aware of the power of the dollar. Dominicans, a lot of people say, oh, Dominicans, they give you the gringo price. They don't even know how much to charge half the time for their stuff, right? And they do undercharge a lot of the time for their apartments. And they will include furnished apartment. They will include cable. They will include Wi-Fi, right? But they will charge very low prices. And just talking about low prices, today I went to a place in Hispaniola. Hispaniola is a gated community, and I filmed the place that a Russian woman owns, and it's a bungalow, and it's so beautiful. It is like a one bedroom bungalow. It has its bedroom, like a open concept bathroom, everything you need inside of the kitchen. You're gonna get everything you need, and it's also in a gated community. Okay, and there's like a mango park where you can go sit underneath the mango tree, and it's just so beautiful. And it's only going to be $875 a month in a gated community. Something like this would usually go for probably like, I don't know, 1,500. So I do want to say, like, there are some foreigners that will charge awesome prices. That video that I'm talking about right now, I'm going to be putting up on Tuesday on YouTube, but I'm going to be putting it up on my Instagram, at Latin_living, at Latin_living. That is what I use for my real estate on Instagram. I have other Instagram handles, but that's the one I use for real estate. I also am creating right now a brand new realty company because I'm a broker, and I want to bring on some real estate agents into my own agency. I don't want to work for other agencies because it just seems like right now it's just a market out there that is dog eat dog world, right? So what I want to do right now is create my own real estate company as a broker, and I'm going to be bringing on real estate agents. So if you're a real estate agent, whether you're abroad or here, I want to work with you. And what we're going to do is work together, and we will split commission 50-50. I'm not going to take so much for myself and give you nothing. It's 50-50. And I will come up with the listings. You can come up with the listings. We'll both come up with clients. We will work together like a partnership, but you will be a real estate agent. And then, of course, we have to take some of our earnings, and 10% we have to pay for a lawyer, because we want to make sure that we have our own lawyer. And the lawyer usually takes 10% payment out of the deal. So if, like, let's say you and I both get 50% out of the 100% commission. Hold on. 100% commission. You take 50, I take 50, but then we both take 5, and we pay 5 each to the lawyer. Okay, it's just fair, and it's totally amazing. I have a lot of experience here, so if you are around the world and you don't even have any plans on coming here in the next year, we can still sell together online. You can send clients my way. I will send listings your way. We can work together that way. Okay, so it's going to be called NoCo Realty. NoCo stands for North Coast. I already bought it on the domain nocorealtydr.com, and I just have to get the website up and running to put some listings up there, and it's going to be amazing. Can you guys hear the thunder roll? And the thunder rolls. That's a country song for you white people that think that I'm hating on you. And the thunder rolls. We got to bring a little light to the day too, right? But you people that are my people, you know I'm not hating on you. You know that. You know I love you no matter what color you are, no matter what culture you are, no matter what religion you are. I love you because you have a heart, and it's red, and it's just like the rest of us. And underneath it all of our bones are the same color. And everything that we do is just human nature. Okay, so I do want to end it on that type of note, where I do want to let you guys know that we are all human. But again, women are a little bit different than men, and men are a little bit different than women, but that's just because we're different species of human. And I do want to say to you guys, I don't see any messages coming in, so it could be that my messages are muted once again. Let me just look right now. Oh, guys, I want to show you guys something before I let you go. Hold on. This is important for you guys that are coming to the Dominican Republic and you want this. Hold on. Hold on. There are some more messages here. Oh, wait, there are. Hold on one second. See, I had to look on my other cell phone. Hold on one second. Okay. Kiji says, they know. Oh, sorry. Ads are coming up. They know what they are doing and saying. All lives matter. They not stupid. He not crazy. He just entitled, and nobody has checked him. He just needs to be checked hard. Hopefully I checked him. Juanita, yeah. And then Kichi says, All nations. Yeah, my sister used to call me all nations. Stray Python. Yes, the island was told a lie about Haitians and Dominicans to separate them, and some have a grudge that is based in a lie and stupidity. Absolutely. P City. Give me some of that corn whiskey. Ashley, love your story times. Thank you, Ashley. Why? Juanito says in DR we don't have a problem with colors. No, we. I gotta say, um, that a lot of the times when I am chilling, um, there I'll be chilling with a dark skin, Dominican or light skinned Dominican, and there is no color calling. They don't call each other colors at all. Haitians and Dominicans are a little segregated from each other, a little separate because it's two different cultures. It really is in their minds, only because of what Stray Python just said. It was built that way in the system. But overall, you can see that dark skinned Dominicans and light skinned Dominicans, they love each other. They don't look at color. They don't treat people according to their dark or light skin. Gigi says this is way all the Asian anime and big round blue eyes, no Asian eyes, no brown eyes. When is the last time you seen an Asian born with blue eyes? Right? Very true. Oh, I know that company, Toma. Ashley Y says, I will watch the replay. Thank you. Kiji Dan says, yeah, I have a white dog, so I can't be all that bad. They only gonna learn how to pronounce the N word better. Yes, that's true. Them type of people don't change because power tells them they don't have to. Very true. Yes, create your own company, Cerise. Good idea. NoCo Realty DR. Absolutely. NoCo Realty DR. And guess what? Toma this for these things right here is also my own company, guys. Just to let you know, it's also my own company. I sell these online and I deliver them all around the world. So when you guys order, look at that. Let me see. It's kind of glossy. You can't really see. Okay. So I want to show you guys something. I got this delivered today from online. I ordered this. Look at. One of those camera doorknobs. I'm so excited about it. Oh my gosh. I'm going to see how it works on my door. And then I'm going to put one downstairs in the street of my building. And I'm going to just leave it there. And we're going to get all kinds of good stuff. I'm so excited because it's going to be the real deal Holyfield of what goes on in Los Charamicos. And I do believe this, for those of you guys just probably going to think I'm a little cray cray now, but we're probably going to catch some type of, what's it called? The word, paranormal activity on it, because Los Charamicos is filled with a lot of ancient type of energy. And I don't know, sometimes I just feel like there's some beauty in the street, like some protection in the street, and I don't know. Imagine if we got a ghost caught on here. Ooh. So, you guys, I bought this for very inexpensively, and I will be providing these online. I mean, on here in the Dominican Republic, if you want to order one, it is a doorbell. And you guys just let me know. I'm going to be providing these here in the Dominican Republic. So, you guys let me know. First, I have to try it out before I promote it. I have to really promote it. And then I'm going to speak to the manufacturer again if it works right and get it all set up. And you get it, it gets sent directly to your cell phone. So when I'm sitting in my room now and someone knocks on my door, no more going to my door because I don't like answering my door at all when someone knocks without me knowing who it is. So I just won't answer it. I don't care. If I'm not expecting you and you're knocking on my door and you don't have my number, then I'm not answering my door. That's just that. But sometimes they knock and they knock and they knock and they knock and they're persistent. And I still don't answer actually. But sometimes, like if it's the daytime and I'm kind of expecting someone, I will say, like, if I'm expecting someone and they're there maybe a little earlier, right? I'll be like, hola. I'll say hola outside my door. I never answer my door, but like open it just without knowing who's there. And I don't have a peephole. But now, who? I could just stay right in my bedroom and I'll just be like opening up my, where'd I put my cell phone? I'd be sitting right in my bedroom. Someone knocks at the door, rings that bell. I'll be like, yes? What do you want? I'm not home right now. Or I'll just look and not even say anything. And you can get it all uploaded on the cloud. So I think that's a pretty awesome thing. I just want to say to you guys, you know, it's a beautiful thing when you can just live your life happily and peacefully. And also, enjoy. Hold on one second. Okay. So I don't see any more comments here again. I don't know what's going on. I don't know why I'm not getting the comments. And I do hope that, there we go. I do hope, oh, ring doorbell, here we go. No co-realty. DR, is that a ringer? Yes, it is a ringer. They really good for security. I know. It's so excited about this ringer. I am so excited about this. I can't even say. I'm going to go home, connect it, and that's it. Put it up on my door, and I'm just going to put a big sign underneath the doorbell, and I'm going to say ring doorbell. I'm going to put it in Spanish, and I'm going to put it in English, and that's it. We're going high. We're doing it up. We're moving up a level like the Jeffersons. Moving on up to the east side. Finally got a piece of the pie. Come here, sweetheart. Ben, I'm going to turn the camera around. There we are. Toma. Español? Oh, English. Back up a little bit.
No, español.
Oh, both. Your English is good. Okay, Espanol. Back up. Back up. Okay, there we go. What is your name?
Stephanie,
And where are you from?
80.
And where do you live?
Sosua, Sosua abajo.
Mm. Sosua Bajo.
Yes.
Okay. And what is your job?
Cashier.
Yeah. Cashier.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you have to say it in English. Okay, so everyone, where you work?
In Pedro Grisante. Where working at?
Say,
Pedro
I work.
Grisante.
Yeah, say it in English. Your English is good.
Okay.
You're shy. Say it in English. Say, I work at, where Brooklyn at? I work at, where Brooklyn at?
I'm where? At where working at.
That's it.
Okay.
Where Brooklyn at? Thank you, sweetie.
You're
sweetheart.
welcome.
That's Stephanie, and she works right here at Where Brooklyn At. And I really want to plug Where Brooklyn At because they believe in my television show. They are advertisers on Living Good, my television show. And when I link down below, the last show with the three guys that experienced this N word situation, you're also going to see that the owner from here was on that same show. So I just want to tell you guys that, Lee, this was just a good, safe spot to come to if you're a solo traveler, couples. I send everyone here because it's central. And I know that you're going to come here and eat good. You're going to hear some good music, which I'm going to have to get off now because they turned the music off for me. And also, you're going to get some good drinks. I know that you'll always enjoy yourself here. Like it's a good vibe. It's a lounge. Right now, I'm sitting in the lounge area. There's the lounge area, and over there too. Right now, I'm sitting in the lounge area, and you can come here and get a bite to eat. I'm gonna get a bite to eat today for Noche. It's raining out, but when the rain stops, I am going to get myself a nice meal. I know I can always feel good here. Let me see. They were. What did Gigi say? Geechee. I usually answer my door with my guns. Oh, I'm always ready. You're gangsta, huh? I'm a hustler, baby. I just want you to know it ain't where I've been. It's where I'm about to go. Yeah. So, guys, where Brooklyn at? They play a lot of 80s music. They play a lot of 90s music. They play a lot of R&B and hip hop. And it's always hopping. I love it. But again, it's raining right now. I'm usually here on a Wednesday after my show. I come on a Wednesday and I love to be here. I come in after 8 o'clock. I get a drink and then I head back out. I'm here for about an hour. So please come on in. Anytime you're here on a Wednesday, just come in and ask for me. If it's after 8 o'clock, you won't even have to ask for me. You just come on up and approach me because I'm usually right at the bar, just chilling out with whoever's here, chilling and chatting. And I want you guys to come and chill and chat as well and really have a good time. Have a good time in life. Don't get caught up on hang-ups. Don't get caught up on any type of negativity. Nothing like that is worth it at all. And then we have Gichi say, trabajo. She works right here in Where Brooklyn At. All right, guys. I love you so much. I'm going to let you go. This was my meltdown, build up, just scream it out loud, vent, video. And I apologize again if I offended anyone talking about certain things. But, you may think that certain black people understand, and they don't. They don't. They tolerate, but they don't understand why this is continuing to happen this many years later, and why white people don't do some more research into the past, and why white people say, my great-great-grandfathers did that, not me. I wouldn't be racist against a black person. Well, before you start talking that way and saying, get over it, read about it, study it, look at it. Really analyze what a whole entire race went through and continues to go through till this day. There's going to be a changing of the guards. And how it was in the beginning, so shall it be in the end. And white people are quickly becoming minorities in the world because there are a lot of people coming right here and also to America and also to Canada. And you guys are quickly becoming the minority white people. And you don't want to be treated like that in the future. So treat people the way you want to be treated. Do a little history. There's a lot of history available. And all you have to do is just plug in Google, history of black people. And you'll find something. It's not called colored. Don't call it colored. That's some old words from back in the day. And although you may say, but you are colored because some of you guys are light skinned, some of you guys are dark skinned, Some of you guys are medium skin. That is different. That is colored. But no, no, it's not colored. It's just different shades. That's it. Okay. So when it comes to you, white people, us black people, us white people, I'm mixed, right? So white people have different colors, right? People in general are different colors, but there's different hues in the white race, there's different shades in the black race, you know, even native, even any Asian. Okay. So let's just keep it real. And the black race is a strong race. The black race has proven themselves to be an amazing race that can overcome and that can actually help you to overcome. And if you are a grandmother or a grandfather and you have some type of racist tendencies, just for whatever reasons, and you have black grandchildren, love those children. They're probably going to be the most beautiful kids in your family. As you all know that mixed races are always beautiful, but they're probably going to be the ones that are going to be there for you in the end when nobody else cares. Embrace your seeds. Embrace the people who are your family, your blood. Remember, blood is the same. It's red. Bones are the same. They're white. The inside of us are all the same. Don't hate on someone or disrespect someone or think that you are more entitled. Because what is a man without his money? He's his character. And if your character sucks, you only suck. That's it. You're not good. Nobody wants you around. And I was watching something about veterans. And some veterans, okay, I was here. I was at a restaurant and there were some veterans talking, black veterans. And one of the black veterans, he experienced something, racism. And he was talking to his black brothers and he's like, you know what? I don't hate white people for being white. He's like, because when we were in combat, I had my white brother's back and my white brother had my back too. We're in combat. We're saving lives. We're working for the same country at that time. And he said, so it's hard for him to hate on a white person. He said, because they just don't know. They're raised that way. Their environmental upbringing. So if that's you and you just don't know why you don't like black people, or you just don't know why you want to say the N word and you just don't understand, then start getting more in the culture. It's available to you. You can go to certain clubs. You can go online. You can ask questions. Be honest with your approach. Just say you want to understand more and you want to get involved more. You want to help more. And you will be embraced. You will never be ostracized. Black people will never say to you, oh, get away. They won't. They'll be like, yeah, word, what? Oh, what? Come on. And they'll bring you right into the community so you can help. You know, they will never segregate you. So that's just what I want to say. Live, let live, be happy, and be wise. Let me see here. They know, stop apologizing. Don't apologize. You sound good. Let me see. When you sing, everybody know you black Cerise. Thank you. Alan Lewis says, first thing is blacks need to stop calling each other the N-word. Absolutely. Nate C says, hi Cerise, love your message today. I look to doing business with you in the near future in Dominican Republic. Thank you. I don't have my glasses on. I'm attempting to read without glasses. As I'm 50 now, almost 51 in December. So guys, I do want to say, yeah, I'm not apologizing. But I do want to say, some people, they just don't know. But now you know. And you need to understand that It's a beautiful culture. It's a beautiful thing. Get involved. See how you can help. Heal, not hurt. And also, Alan Lawson, I actually said that too in the beginning of the video. I said, brothers have to stop using the word too. Like, it's not cool. I know some people are like, I'm taking the power back. I'm not going to allow that word to hurt me. I'm going to show the white man that that word has no power. But the word has history. And when you are using it, you are not respecting the history and what your forefathers have done for you by ending slavery. I'm a different cat because I'm Canadian, and my forefathers, my black forefathers, went to war against America, and they were like, whoa, this is help. When Britain went in to go to war with America to try to take America away from America, they went to my forefathers and they said, hey, can you help us? You're a slave, but we really need your manpower. And if you don't win, then you can leave America and you won't have to stay in America because we know they'll try to kill you. So you come to Canada and we'll give you land. If you do win, you get land in America. And they kept their promise. And, that's what my forefathers did. So I'm a different cat. I'm not American. I'm Canadian. So I do know that Americans are still dealing with it till this day. Till this day, it is not a cool thing. And I really pray that when the tables start turning and the changing of the guards start happening and the white man becomes the minority and he has to do what South Africans are doing in Africa, bow down to the brother, that they understand why. They understand what's really going on. I pray that your children's children in the future, Caucasian or anyone that, that is racist, that your children's children, because a lot of you guys like to just stay white, you don't like to mix with any other color or any other race. Well, your race is dying out very quickly. And in the future, your children's children will be at the bottom of the sand, the hourglass. And that's something you need to think about now, not 30 years from now. It's happening right now. Crypto has no discrimination. There's no rule around crypto. America's trying, they're trying with the XRP and they're trying to do things to get things away from the average person, but they can't. We're a digital society now. And it's the survival of the fittest, the survival of the strongest. And you're going to have to be very careful in the future if you are a racist, because that's not going to fly. You're being canceled at this moment. And that couple that I spoke about for most of this video, I think is going to watch this video and they'll see exactly how I feel. But maybe they're too ignorant to know anything. I don't think they even know how to write very well. Not that that means anything anyway, because none of us really do know how to write these days. I mean, to be honest with you, the kids in school these days are not even learning writing, cursive, cursive. Like, they're not even learning cursive. They don't even know what cursive is. If you do handwriting, the fancy handwriting, they don't even know how to read it at all. The younger generation, you may not know that. I just learned that the other day. I was like today years old when I learned that that's not being taught in school any longer. And when someone in grade school looks at it, they're like, what's that? They can't read it. Okay, guys, I love you to pieces. I hope you're doing very well. It looks like this is going to cut out. And let me see. Oh, wait, we have more messages here. Nate says, I look forward. DG says oppress. Yep. I don't use that word. Nate C says it means ignorant. The majority of us are not ignorant, especially if we travel. You got it. You got it. My crypto has me in a great place right now. No kids, no wife, no lady. All I have is to hoe up. Hey guys, I'm coming off right now. I asked them to turn the music off for me. Can you just come say hi, guys, quickly? So I was talking to you guys about where Brooklyn at, and I just want to introduce you quickly to Lee. And also, Selena, your hair looks nice. Come on over and say hi, sweetheart. I'm gonna turn this camera around. Oh, hello, hello.
Who am I
Hi.
saying hi to?
To you two.
Hello, YouTube.
There we
I don't know
are.
how I look on there.
You
I'm
look
just walking up from this
beautiful.
crazy weather.
You look
Cerise,
gorgeous.
it's
Your
good to
hair
see
looks
you. How you
nice.
doing?
I'm doing good. So tell everyone you do hair when they
Yes, I
come
do
down here.
natural hair. Yep.
You do
Natural
dreads, you
hair.
do
I do locks.
braids.
I do extensions. All natural hair.
So if they ever come here and they want to get something done,
Come through where Brooklyn at, and that will be my contact for right now.
oh,
Until I have
awesome.
any other changes, any upcoming changes, I'll let you guys know.
Beautiful. And oops, hold on one second. And then we have Lee. Come right here, Lee. Hold on one second. Plug where Brooklyn at, please. I mean, I've been plugging it for the last hour and a half, but I want you to tell people what's going on here.
Hey everybody, this is Lee from Where Brooklyn At. You can reach me on my YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram channel at WBA Where Brooklyn At. That's WBA Where Brooklyn At. It's raining right now. It's a little early, but you know later on we're gonna have it going on. So come on down, have a good time with us. You know, drink, smoke, play some games. Just have a good time, and look forward to seeing you here at Where Brooklyn At. Where Brooklyn At.
Where
See you
Brooklyn
soon. All right.
at? Awesome. Thank you. I'm so glad you guys showed up because I'm like talking about it over and over again. That's it. 6 o'clock. I'm early. I know because I'm usually here after 8.
Exactly.
You guys got here because the kitchen opens up at 6, right?
About 6:30. About 6:30.
6:30. So guys, the kitchen opens up at 6:30. I got here at like 4 o'clock. I've been doing it. What time is it now? I've been doing it. What camera?
It's back there behind the tree.
Oh, you got a camera that you see at
I
home?
can see the back of you, yeah.
Oh,
I knew you by your-
that's
by your curls, I
amazing.
could tell it was you.
Aw, thank you. All right, guys, remember where Brooklyn at? Please come on in. Wednesdays and Fridays, I'm usually here. I come out and I chill. I love it. Okay, guys, I love you so much. Huge hugs, loads of love, big blesses. Remember, be kind to each other out there. Be good to each other and make sure that you don't use that N word because it has weight, it has history, and it's not funny. And if you are a white man or a white woman and you hang around the sisters and the brothers and you love the sisters and the brothers and they gave you permission to say it, first of all, shame on them because they can't give you permission to perpetuate that ignorance. But also, they're just saying it to you because you probably asked, "Can I say it? Can I say it?" No, you can't say it. So shut up, sit down, and get some knowledge in you and stop perpetuating the ignorance. And brothers and sisters that are using it, same thing. Same thing. Get that knowledge in you. See what your forefathers went through in order to make sure that you can grow in the future and not be the minority, but be the majority. All right. Camera is slipping. That's my cue to say bye-bye. Mwah. I love you. Huge hugs, loads of love, big blessings. Treat yourself good today and be careful out there. Cuídate.